I'm ready.
No, I'm not mocking you. It's Mocking With You, the podcast that settles the debates once and for all with your host, Lil B, and the hater.
Might be going on the other end, but I can't hear it on my end.
Hello and welcome to the Mocking With You podcast. We are bringing you our top 10 wide receivers and top 10 tight ends for the 2024 NFL class. We brought you our quarterbacks and running backs last week. I promised you this week I would bring you my notes from the games because I left it at the office. I have it in hand, so I will be able to have a little bit more of everything that I remembered instead of trying to remember. I have it written down in front of me today. So I'm super excited. We had
I am too.
some
I did a
technical
lot of work on this. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
I was just
I
listening.
did a lot of work on this wide receiver class because it's like this. I was talking to his brother about this last night. This class is the hardest class I've had in a while. Where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna back to putting somebody at 13.
Yeah, but again, like I think one thing we need to define with this wide receiver class, it's the top three is obvious. I think everybody agrees on 1, 2, and 3. I wouldn't argue you if you wanted to have them flip flopped, but from 4 through 10, it's razor thin margins difference, and then like 11 through 17, again, razor thin margins. It is literally, for me, preference. If you wanted something else and that's what you wanted, I would be like, yeah, he's a good player. I have no problems. If that's what you want to use, I get it. If you wanted a short slot guy over the big, tall number 1 guy who can get you the red zone threat, I get it. I'm not going to argue you taking a guy over another guy because I really just think that's how good this class can be.
Now let's talk about the tight ends before we go into this. The tight ends, guys, this is the worst tight end class I've ever seen.
Yeah, like last year was the best tight end class in years. This is the worst, and God, this is bad. Like
And I'm not classing these guys. I'm not saying that bad players, but man, when I look for the tight end, and maybe other people just look for lot in tight ends or whatever, and you're looking for lot in tight ends. You found the
oh
right
yeah,
tight end.
this tight end class is definitely, if you need the old traditional tight end that can just block, be somewhat of a target for a receiving threat. This is your class. You're shitting high cotton right now. You're gonna be so happy, but
I mean, like I did think outside the box, so you really shocked with mine.
well, let's see that. But are we gonna start with running wide receivers or tight ends?
Wide receivers.
All righty. So I went first last with the running back. So you can go ahead and start with your number 10 wide receiver there, sir.
And my number 10 wide receiver. Let me pull up my notes. I had them up and then I was trying to get in the way. Okay, my number 1 wide receiver is Soccer.
10.
Number 10. Sorry, number 10. Whoopsie. Whoopsie. It's Ricky Pearsall.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. If
I
it
dude,
wasn't
I
for
have him at
if it wasn't for Mertz, Pearsall would have had a much better. I mean, his quarterback was ass. And what every time I watch this guy on tape, he's getting the first down every time. So, in my opinion, he reminded me of Keenan Allen. He's the Keenan Allen slot guy, like you were saying. You want a slot guy. I'm trying to get guys that are spread out here. So, this is my slot guy. My slot
yeah.
guy right here is Pearsall.
Yeah. So obviously I watched 17 to 20 wide receivers. I watched the top. I wanted to make sure I had the top guys. Obviously there's a lot more to do, but these top 20 guys I watched are definitely guys who are going to be in the first 3-4 rounds. I can confidently say Ricky Pearsall was my second least favorite wide receiver I watched. I have him at like 19 or 20. I do
We
not. I
all,
don't get it.
we all think differently.
Yeah, we definitely do. So my number 10 is another a white boy, but from a different university, but from the same conference. I'm going Lad McConkey. So Lad, the thing I love Lad. Lad is just the
By
what
the way,
you'll
did you see
stereotypical.
him one time?
Yeah, fast. Lad McConkey. So what I wrote about Lad McConkey, great
Don't
elite
look that
speed,
fast
quick
on tape.
burst. Yeah, I mean he has good hands. Um, he can be used in the motion because of his speed, willing to block, and he is a solid blocker. Struggles though. The big thing with Lad that I watched on tape over and over and over again throughout all the games is that if you put a man on him and you just push him at the line, he's done. He has no he can't get off the block. He can't get off man coverage. But if on zone, soft zone or soft man, all day, every day. But if you put a
Well,
linebacker or a wide receiver or a cornerback on the line, Lad is not going to go anywhere or do anything.
yeah. So yeah, I think that's what we hear. Where we think that he's gonna be a slot guy. That's they're not gonna press him in the slot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could you motion him out to get, the speed going
Yeah,
and get him
yeah. Most of
downfield.
them.
But yeah, I like him a lot, but he has some issues, which most of these guys have something. He's workable. That's why he's at 10. I think he's definitely not a one or a two. He's definitely a three and somebody who
I'm a
can.
little bit higher on him than you are, but not too high.
All right, who's your number 9 then, sir?
I had a hard time with this because this guy. I was talking to your brother about this last night, and his production was only for one season, and he played for 5 years. So why did it take him so long to become so productive? And I'm talking about Xavier Legette.
I love it. I have no problem with it. I'm actually a little bit more bullish on Xavier Leggett.
That's why he's so low. Why is his production only 1 year?
Yeah, I mean that, but he was a transfer too, was he not? He was. Where was he before
No,
South? South.
I think his brother looked it up and he's been at South Carolina his whole career.
I thought he transferred into. I know one of
Um,
these guys is. It's hard to keep
Clint
track of all these
Franklin was a
guys.
transfer. Clint Franklin was who will get the later as a transfer. But no, by the way, my compliment and video Legette is Mike Evans. Like,
I'm good with that.
yeah, no, I do like him. I don't blame him for being bullish if I want to be, but it just worries me that, they went into 1 year wonder.
No, I understand it. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I am just looking. I really thought he played at multiple schools, but no, you are right. It was South Carolina this whole career. All right, yeah, that makes me feel a little different. I thought I gave him the credit of a transfer, but okay, number 9 for me. We talked about these guys last night a little bit, Chris. Um, I've played the game because this is a really good class, and I feel like I might need to move them. This is going to be a moving board, but right now this is where I have AD Adano Mitchell from Texas. He is
Dude, I am
clear clear cut the best wide
wow.
receiver out of Texas. Dude, this speaks of this class. Again, if you wanted to put, if I want Mitchell, if I wanted to put him at 5 or 6, I would have no problem with that. Like, again, razor thin margins here,
I,
Christian.
I just
Razor
think
thin.
I think well, the higher they are, the name the nickname, the nickname
Yeah.
I want this wide receiver in a nickname. Not that
Yeah.
Lamb McConkey's not a nickname wide receiver, but he's gonna be at number 8 for me. Yeah, 8 for me. Lamb McConkey, because I just don't think that at the next level he's gonna take over the game.
None whatsoever. Yeah, he's not going to be. If he takes over a game, it's good because he's going to be that guy with like 3 catches, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns because
Yeah,
he broke off with speed. He's never going to
but
be
I think that he's the best fusion type.
just with more elite speed.
Oh yeah,
Like
no,
those
he's got
guys.
way more speed than. Hope Lincoln had some speed.
Honestly, this is because he did it in college, and I wrote about it. Lad McConkey uh, could be Deshaun Jackson
Yeah, you're right. I
because he
mean, he
does have
could
the
be.
speed. He did return in college. I mean, I think he's a little bit bigger body, but I mean, that's how I see him. He could take the top off of defenses all day, every day.
And the thing is, like, hockey was always consistent. Outside
Yeah,
of Bowers, he was the only target that was consistent the whole year.
yeah. Okay, so my number 8 is the second wide receiver out of Washington, and I'm taking Jalen Polk from Washington. This gentleman, I mean, this team was so good with wide receivers and tight ends.
By the way, I
I
just
love.
went over McMillan over Colts, but I don't even have either of those on my list.
You don't have Mitchell or Polk on your list.
No, McMillan, the other guy, I
Oh,
don't
I don't
have
have I
two.
don't have Jalen McMinn. I was just talking about that he's another decent wide receiver. I don't have him in the top 10,
Yeah,
but
but you got Polk. Okay,
he's a good route runner. He can catch the ball. He has a good catch radius. He had a couple of nice one-handed catches in the Stanford game. Finds the soft spot on the defense and exploits it. Uh, he has good speed, good burst. He has very good sideline awareness and can catch the ball on the sideline really well.
yeah, no, I think like it's paid. I just didn't know what for them.
Yeah. All right. Who's your number 7, sir?
Number 7 is Ryan Thomas Jr.
Well, go ahead and sir and cross the board. We're here. First one of the day. Brian Thomas Jr. is my number 7 as well.
By the way, I was super shocked that his one time because if you watch his tape, you don't look that fast.
No,
He's like he's like very
see, I disagree with you.
sneaky.
I put in multiple games. I watched elite speed for Brian Thomas Jr.
No.
I
I'm not saying he don't have it. I'm saying that when he comes out of his break, he's not he's not quick. And then, I'm not saying he's not quick, but he don't he kind of longs in the sleep.
I disagree with everything you're saying about him. Everything you're saying that you're seeing. I said the exact opposite.
Wow.
I
Because
said I thought
I
he had
thought
good burst.
no,
Yeah,
I think he has when he and he does that on purpose to get behind the defense. So when he turns it off, it's just a bit, and then he turns it
it
on.
you're now talking about his route running, not his speed. He's a great route runner because he designed route runs that way. So
That's
you're
what
talking
I'm
about his
saying.
route.
Is he's effective with his acceleration.
Again, I think you're saying it the wrong way, but we don't have to. I don't think he's deceptive in any way. He's just an elite route runner that he just does what he wants to do on the field, and people fall for it. And that's what I put down. I think you're just thinking he's
No,
trying to
no,
hide
I'm not.
speed
When it comes out into his route, you don't go that fast.
because I think that's designed route runners.
Yeah. And maybe it's designed by them or it's designed by him, but it's good. It's talent. That takes talent.
Yeah. All right. So who's your number 6?
Number 6. Number 6 is Keenan Coleman.
Wow. Okay. You a little low on my boy Keenan. I see you.
It didn't start out like that. Trust me, it did not.
See. All
I was
right. So
really high. I was so high on him. And I'm not
you're
saying
letting
I'm
the
not.
combine hurt. You're
No,
affecting the
no.
you're letting.
It's not the combine. I just fell in love with other guys.
Okay.
Like,
I get it. I mean, I get
and
it. Like
my
I
thing
said,
is, and the injuries are the attack that puts him down. The combine I don't care about. After right here, number 6 through 1, I think will be elite wide receivers.
so we talked about this gentleman. I feel like more I look at it and the numbers of the combine, my numbers are going to rotate a little bit. But right now, at my number 6, I have Troy Franklin Jr. out of Oregon. I really liked him, but I don't love him. A lot of people are like hyping him up to be like wide receiver 3 or 4, and I'm like, I don't think. And he definitely didn't have a good combine to help himself. Um, but I did say he had a couple. He's good with the deep hands, solid hands, outside wide receiver. He has a really good catch radius. He does make a couple of drops, inconsistency when it comes to the drop. He's
Yeah,
just a
he dropped
playmaker.
some
Like,
wide open, dropped
yeah,
some wide open ones. Where I
yeah,
was like, what? But that kind of reminded of like Terrell Owens. Like Terrell Owens could
yeah,
make that contested catch, but then he dropped the easy one.
yeah.
Not saying it's Terrell Owens.
No. All right, who's your number 5?
Troy Franklin.
Okay.
Troy Franklin is my number 5. I really do think that it's splitting hairs here. Like
Yeah,
the one thing that really put him over was him and Coleman was the injury.
yeah,
And time is not too bad. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about underwear workouts.
yeah. Neither am I.
Like how they look on tape and but yeah, like you said with the inconsistencies with the catching, but man, man, this guy's a playmaker. Every time you put him on the tape, he's making a play.
Yeah, he is. Very true. Very true. So you talked about that. I have this gentleman. I said I was more bullish on him, and this is where I'm coming off with it. My number 5 is Xavier Leggett from Southern Cal or you know, South Carolina.
South
I
Carolina.
don't care. All right, I get it. 5 years. It came year 5 where he finally busted out. Okay, there's a lot of 1 year wonder court players in the NFL who got drafted high. T.J. Watt came an example. He was a 1 year wonder and got drafted in the first round. He's probably arguably the best pass rusher in the NFL. There's so many. The 1 year, yeah, does it concern you? Yeah, but how many times has there been players with a 1 year wonder who got drafted in the top 5, top 10?
Yeah,
I get it,
I get it. And
but
the thing about TJ Watt is he had to wait his turn, and maybe that's what happened
okay,
with
well, I don't.
Xavier
It
Leggett.
doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. I don't get like people give excuses for Caleb Williams for the shit year he
No,
had, but he's still
I'm
arguably.
saying maybe that's what happened with Xavier Leggett. He had to wait his turn.
But Xavier Leggett, elite speed, strong runner. You can, high points the ball. He has good body control, good route running, good catch radius, good burst, quick release. I mean, he sees ball, he gets ball. Like it's as simple as that with Xavier Leggett. He see ball, he get ball. There's no questions about Xavier when it comes to that. I am very bullish. Last year, I was very bullish, and I didn't bullish enough on Rasheed Rice and where I thought Rasheed Rice should have been. And look at Rasheed Rice at the end of the year
This is what
and how
he
he,
is kind of like a machine line with the flat if you look at him.
yeah, and that I'm putting my stamp on it right now. Xavier Leggett is my guy.
And that's a
I'm that
guy, huh?
bullish.
This is
He's
new,
my
huh?
guy for the Wires.
This is new.
I'm he's my dude.
I'm putting my news right now. I'm putting my news right now. A.D. Mitchell. All day Mitchell.
Oh wow, you're really bullish on AD Mitchell.
Dude, when the lights turn bright, this guy gets brighter. Look at the
You're not wrong.
championship game. Look at the championship game against, or the semifinal against Washington. He put on a show.
Yeah, he did. Look, I'm going to say this right now because you're not going to see it, and I'm going to give the opportunity. You know who? Like AD Mitchell is hands down the best wide receiver out of Texas. Xavier Worthy is the most overrated. He is John Ross Jr. Yeah, he ran the
Yeah,
speed.
no, and he's got no hands. There's a reason why he's not on our list.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
not. Yeah,
you put him on
he's
the
not going to
tape.
be on the list.
The tape don't lie. Tape don't lie.
Yeah,
It's the old adage. And the
yeah.
thing with the Xavier Worthy is I really saw a guy who could have been the most dominant force in NCAA. He could have been Devontae Smith, like he could have been
He
Devontae Smith a
he
couple years
he
ago.
he
But
did just disappeared. He just disappears in all the
yeah,
games.
yeah, and he has dropped like his one play he'll drop it.
Oh God, damn! He kills me with the drop. All I kept writing down: drop, drop, drop,
blah,
drop,
blah, blah,
drop,
blah.
drop. And you're like, Jesus Christ, Xavier.
He
Yeah,
kind of
hold on
remind,
to the
he
ball.
kind of has the build of a Hollywood Brown, but you know, you have close hands with Hollywood Brown, and Hollywood Brown don't have good hands.
Yeah. All right. So my number 4, you've already talked to him. I'm also very bullish on him. I've already stamped Xavier as my guy, but if I had a guy 2.0, it's Kean Coleman right here at number 4. I love Keon. I don't care about the injuries. He's another guy. I don't care about the underwear Olympics. It's like sometimes guys just don't test well at the combine and they're still elite athletes.
The kid
Keon
is
Coleman is
really,
just that
really
guy.
good.
Keon Coleman is just that guy when you turn on the tape, he dominates and he's on the tape all the time, making plays. Elite hands, elite speed. He was a good route run. He's a great route runner. He returned the ball a couple punts throughout his time in college and returned it for a touchdown. Uh, makes people miss. Just smooth. Like he might be the smoothest route runner in this class.
He is super smooth. I do think that when I look back, I might be a little upset that Troy Lakeland was ahead of Coleman, but it's okay.
All right. I think this is. I'm curious if we're going to be in agreement here or not, or how we're going to see this. Who do you got at number 3?
I got Rome at Doomsday.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I like Roma Tuesday a lot more than you because I have him one spot higher.
And you know what? And here's the reason why I'll tell you when I get to him. Um, but dude, Doomsday is like a basketball player. He boxes the guy out. He knows how
Oh
to
yeah,
fit in the
he's
zone.
probably
He's so knowledgeable. He can fit in the zone. You know how like an option route is, and you're supposed to fit when you're in the zone, and they're supposed to fit in the option route. So he's gonna know that at the next level because he can understand the difference between there and zone.
yeah he like. I'll get to him. I'll state my things about what I thought about him.
What did
About
I know who I know who I thought of when I saw him? Antoine
who?
Bowman.
Okay, I don't mind that comp, but
Dude, he's so big. He's so big.
so my number 3 is gonna be Malik Neighbors. I really like Neighbors again. I'm not going to argue you at 2 and 3 if you want to flip flop them. I have Neighbors just a little behind them. Um, Great speed, quick off the line, catches near the body. The one thing I didn't like, he doesn't use his hands to catch the ball. He catches with his body. I mean, it's not the worst thing, but I always like the wide receivers who go out and grab the ball. Neighbors lets the ball come to him. That was another reason I kind of had him a little lower than or behind Rome. But he's smooth. He makes people miss in open field. He's a great route runner. He he doesn't block. He reminded me of George Pickens on a couple of plays. Just like, yeah, I'm just gonna step aside so the tackler can make the defender. Another reason why I have him behind Rome because Rome is a great route blocker. But he's willing to go get the ball. His best game was Mississippi State. He just finds his space and takes advantage of it. So I really like Neighbors. So I'm assuming you have Neighbors at 2, and I'm Roma Duze at 2.
By the way, Mississippi State. That was a good game, but did you see how he toasted Bama? He
Yeah,
toasted Bama.
yeah.
Okay?
I have.
Anytime you toast Nick says defense, you're high on the list.
Yeah,
And so Malik Neighbors dominant season. He's not the biggest wide receiver that might be like biggest not on him. And honestly, you're right about the hands thing. I really don't like that either, but I'm hoping he can get a good wide receiver coach
yeah,
to help that out. But it's not saying that he has bad hands,
yeah. But
but he
yeah,
can get open. He knows how to get open. You know who my confidence for him? Troy Holt.
okay. I don't mind that. All right. So my number 2 for Rome, I have Roma Duze. Just like Rome, like you said, I wrote down multiple times. He's just a great screen player. He can live and die off the screen play in college. He high points the ball. He catches away from his body. Great hands. Um, better route runner than speed. He doesn't have elite speed. He has good speed, so he's a very good route runner. Great hands. Um, not afraid to use his body to go, like when I say not afraid to use his body, he's not afraid to use his body to get the ball, to make a play down the field, to punish his body to make sure the team wins. I mean, it's
Yeah,
in blocking and going to, even if it's running over a player to get an extra 5 yards, he's not afraid to do it.
that's what reminded me of Antoine Bowman so much. Like Antoine Bowman was just go up there and get it. Like Wet was abandoned just to make a
Yeah.
play.
Yeah. So I don't think we need to sit here and talk about number one long. I think we all know why number one's here.
I
I think
mean,
we all
really have to.
Maserati Harrison. Good old Marvin.
Marvin. By the way,
Marvin. Yeah. I
I
mean,
I sent
what?
them. I sent them from my notes, and I sent them from the chat. I think. Um, this is the most true thing in the draft. If you can not let the game get to his head and not let them get to his head, he's the most true thing in the draft.
I disagree with you on that. I disagree with you wholeheartedly. I think when we get to next week, there's a bit more sure things.
You know why though? Because it's in his blood.
It doesn't matter. There's a lot of players who have it in their bloods and they don't even come to their father.
They don't match
Like,
the father's bit. Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
but
but
no, I'm just bold like that. I'm not saying the most true thing in the draft. Now, that's not saying he's not bustable.
yeah,
True thing and bulletproof. Not bulletproof.
yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, if I can talk for a second with Marvin, he's the biggest playmaker in this draft for sure. He has great hands, great radius, good run. He's another great blocker, which I love for a wide receiver who's willing to block. He's quick off the line, high points the ball. He's another one who finds the space and takes advantage of the space. Elite speed, uh, a reverse touchdown for rushing for over 20 yards, and against the Michigan State. Michigan State was an amazing game by him. 3 touchdowns, elusive throughout that game, great routes throughout that game. I mean, Marvin Harrison definitely is the number one wide receiver in this class. Go ahead and move on to tight ends. The horn's blaring. I'm going to mute myself so the fans don't have to listen to it.
All right. My number 10 tight end. And by the way, this class, like I already said, is just terrible. Well, we want to talk about our honorable mentions for wide receiver. Is there a wide
I don't
receiver
think
that
we
you
need
want
to.
to
There's too
mention?
many wide receivers. We've already spent 30 minutes on wide receivers, and we still got to talk about our tight ends.
That's what I'm saying for only take 10 minutes.
We say that, but this
So,
tight ends class
number,
is
my number 10 is AJ Bonner of
okay.
Michigan tight end. Man, I
Yeah,
don't know what to think of this guy. He's just mainly a blocker, but he's a good
well,
blocker.
I got
I
to
just don't
turn.
know. I really think again that he could have a better portfolio because he might get into it more.
He
But
could be the better pro. The problem is he's a great again, blocking class, blocking class, blocking class. Can't say it enough with this tight end class. It's a blocking tight end
not
class.
in glass, great blocker.
AJ Barner is smooth. He has the opportunity to be a better pro than college player because of the system he ran in college. Because they didn't throw the ball a lot, and the number one option in Michigan was Roman Wilson.
Yeah.
So like AJ didn't get a lot of chance
Well,
to.
Blake Horn was the number
Well,
one
I'm talking
option.
about with a passing game
Oh yeah, yeah,
when they actually threw the ball. All
yeah.
right.
And Roman Wilson could have been higher on the list, but he was just a bit more.
Yeah. So my number 10, again, this is a very ugly class. It was hard to find a lot of guys that I loved. But this guy had probably one of the highlights of the combine during the gauntlet drill, where he thought he was done and then reached out with one hand to grab the last ball in the gauntlet drill, and that's Dallin Hoker from Colorado State. Um, he looked lost in blocking. He's one of the few guys who's not a blocking tight end.
No,
He's a very good
yeah.
athlete.
Oh
Uh,
wow. Yeah. I'm
he,
trying to
he
figure out where I have him.
I
Yeah.
good hands. He's a yak guy. When he gets open, he's hard to bring down and he gets yards. He
Yeah.
has soft hands, hard to tackle. Uh, he has a good burst. He caught a beautiful Hail Mary pass against Boise State. Uh, he's a project. He's a very raw project that he could be one of the best receiving tight ends out of this class if he goes to the right team and he can be coached up right. But he's very, very raw.
Yeah. I'm not that much behind you on this one. He is very raw, and his blocking was so bad. And honestly, I had a really bad blocking tight end that I actually missed on this list, but it's gonna suck. But yeah, no. As far as a wide receiver or a receiving tight end, he's one of the best.
Yeah. So you're
Oh,
falling.
by
You're
the
number
way,
nine on
speaking
him.
of number nine, I mean, speaking of tight ends, Zach Oates just signed with the Commanders.
Did he really?
Yeah,
Replacing Logan Thomas there, huh?
yep. They literally just replaced an injury prone guy with an injury prone guy.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, okay.
Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, I don't get that one. Alrighty. So mine, you had Hoker at number nine for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
My number nine is again, I think, is a product of why Penix love people love Penix, but I really like Jack Westover from Washington. Uh, Jack had a great games. He's a good blocker, good routes, good burst, diving catch. He's another guy who's willing to put it all out there. He's a really good blocker. He's a great receiver. He was just, I think, he was the fifth option on that team in Washington, so he didn't get the same amount of touches as Polk, as Rome, as Dylan Johnson, as Jalen McMillan. The dude literally
That,
was the fourth, fifth option on his team. So I think he's
you
one of
know
those
what?
guys.
I did not have him on my list.
I really think he's one of those guys who could be like end up being like a George Kittle type, where he gets taken in the middle rounds and becomes one of the best tight ends in the league because of just where his situation was. He wasn't used a lot, and people don't know what to think of him. And I'm not saying he's going to be Kittle. I'm just saying he has the potential to be one of the
Yeah.
better receiving tight ends in this
He did.
class. All right, go
Yeah,
ahead,
I don't
sir.
even have that guy on my list.
Yeah, you need if you have. Did you watch him at all?
I did. Well, when I was watching all the other guys,
Yeah, he was one of my favorites. I'm a little. He's one of my how I have Xavier as my guy for wide receivers. This is like my mid to late round guy that I'd be like pounding the table for if I needed a tight end that I think could be something.
yeah, no, I completely like had him on the list, and I kept moving him down, and I lost him.
Nope, it happens. All right, who's your number eight, sir?
Dude, I really, I really wish I just put leftover over this guy. If I don't even really like this guy,
I get it.
honestly, I'm gonna put it
Nope.
in. I'm gonna fit that leftover in over this guy. Now, it was gonna
Who?
be Johnson, but I don't like him.
Oh God, Chris, you and me are about to fight, man. We are about to fucking fight. Are you serious? Oh,
I don't
you're
like
about
him.
to, you're gonna be, you're gonna be shitting a brick here soon, sir. You're gonna be shitting a brick here soon. Just so you know, Theo Johnson, a perfect raw score, a perfect raw score.
Man, I hope it lost or well, his clean tape. That's what it is.
Oh, good God, not even close. Oh my God, I can't believe you
I'm
just
gonna
said
put
that.
Theo Johnson though. I'm gonna stand by him, and I'm gonna put him at 8.
So my number 8 is your number 10, and I'm taking AJ Barner.
I
Again, I
did
like
higher on him than I would.
he's a good blocker in pass and run, fast off the line, average speed, but he looks stiff running the down. That was a big knock for him. He does have good hands. I just think he's just gonna be a blocker. He could be somewhat of a receiver, but I don't think like he's gonna be like a God. Who would be a good like just somebody who might catch you like only because he not like as efficient, but like a Darnold Parham. He's just gonna be a guy who catches you 10, 20 balls. Two or three of those are gonna be a touchdown.
I don't think it'll be a Donald Parham. I think it'll be like who's that
I,
guy that the Bengals drafted in the second
oh, there you
round a
go. That's
couple
a good
years ago?
example. Drew Sample. Drew Sample.
Yeah, Blue
All
Sample.
right.
There's Blue Sample.
All right. Who do you got for number 7, sir?
Oh, this guy is the guy that you told me about last night. Noah Watson, and I kind of like his vibe. I like his size. Pitt Landon. Pitt Landon, the Iowa, Illinois tight end.
Who made himself a good amount of money from the combine? He was the standout out of a bad class of tight ends from the combine.
Yeah,
He
he's got
definitely
number
solid,
7 for me.
he definitely solidified he's getting drafted now.
He's gonna get drafted.
Yeah. My number 7 is Jared Wiley from TCU. Uh, he's more of a receiver than a blocker. He has good burst, good routes. Takes away. He has the takeaway speed. He does when he gets open. He has another gear and finds it. He had 2 touchdowns against Baylor. He's a yacker. Again, he's a guy. If he can get him in the open, he's not going. He's gonna get you some extra yards, which is nice. You like to see a guy who
I
can get
think
you those yards.
this is the one list where we're like completely, we don't even have the same guys on the loop.
Yeah, we're well, it should here. I think this is where I think from 7 to 10 is where it's all over the board. But really, I think at 6 of 1, we should start seeing the same names. Should. We'll see. Who's your number 6?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Brandon Stanford.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, I like his
Oh,
size.
that's all he has. That's all he
Yep,
is
I
size.
like his size. That's all his size.
That's it. That's all he has.
That's all he has. And you know what? 5 matters in the NFL, and that will help them. I don't know what.
No, he was
And
so.
by the way, who was the quarterback this last year
I
in
don't care.
Minnesota?
That
And
doesn't
who's
mean shit.
terrible?
I
Yeah, I'm taking him.
don't care. He's terrible. He is horrible. He's rugged. He has horrible hip movement. He's slow. Only a blocker. He's literally a 6 offensive lineman. If you wanted to move him to a tackle and call him a 6, your your right tackle, because that's all he is good for. If you just need another guy, I called him the poor man's Mercedes Lewis. He's a 17-year-old vet Mercedes Lewis. That's who he is coming out of college.
Hey, the
A
Finn
Mercedes
Lewis was
Lewis.
solid for 20 years.
But yeah, yes, he was. But he was at least really good when he was young. Brevs, whatever his name from Minnesota, is coming into a 20. He's a 20-year-old
Raven
Mercedes Lewis.
Stanford.
Yeah, he is literally Mercedes
Remember the
Lewis
name.
last year with Chicago Bears. That is what he is coming into the NFL.
I, I,
I don't
again,
like
I
him.
don't know. I don't like this class at all. I'm just taking shots on people.
Where I
By
put
the way,
him,
I don't hope that the Trojan's back in
oh, you're definitely going to draft him because you don't want him. My next pick
Yeah.
is going to be make sure I have it right. Jermaine Bell from Florida State, if I remember
Okay.
correctly.
I think we're about to have almost a semi-similar.
Uh, he, I know why people like him. He has a lot of upside. He's another raw prospect that you hope you can mold in to be something. Uh, okay blocker, better weapon. He's more of the H back role. Like I could see the Packers taking him to replace like Josiah DeGuara, who's a free agent. Like that guy who you need to be an H back. That's where he really fits because he switched positions at Florida State. I forget what I think he was a wide receiver that transferred or a running back that transferred over to a tight end. I can't remember. It
Yeah,
was one of the two.
and honestly, I'm gonna have him at number 5. Um, so we're not too far out on how we feel about him. And for me, well, when I talked about the other guy that's on this list who was also from Florida State that I believe could be moved to tight end, um, he plays super small compared to him, and he don't make as many plays as him. So I just think that I thought that Bell might be a bit more of a playmaker than he is, but I guess he's more of an H-back, like you said. So for
Yeah,
him,
that's where I use him proper. Uh, yeah. So my number 5 is Ben Sinnott from Kansas State.
I,
Um, Good blocker, struggles with open field blocking, struggles with getting open. Press coverage beats him. He's not fast. He's slow.
yeah, that's why
Uh,
he's not on my
but
list.
yeah, a lot of people have him high.
I
He's
don't
not a great
understand
route
it.
runner. I
You're
don't
saying
either,
all the
but I
bad
can
things.
see. I know because that's all I had on the guy. But he's an okay pass catcher. He finds how to he gets open
Okay,
in the end zone. He had two
yes.
touchdowns against Missouri.
Yeah, no, he did
Uh,
that open. I'm just like,
he
but you
he's
don't
a
do anything
bulldozer.
else, well.
He's a
Yeah, he did
bulldozer.
have that one to block.
Yeah.
All those
Again,
that
this is a
one
bad
guy
class.
that I
So
think I was watching.
yeah. All right. Who's your number 4?
Hold on, you had, yeah, right down who you had. Then the Mets or whatever.
Yeah, Ben Sinnott. It's Sinnot.
Yeah, I
Two
had his
T's.
name in
Two
my
T's.
notes.
Sorry, two T's.
I spelled it wrong in my notes. I'm going with Octavian Sanders.
Okay. Yep. We're not too far off on each other there. He's another one. I think yeah, he was like the third or fourth option because you had Worthy, you had All Day Mitchell,
Mitchell.
then you
And then
had
you have Brooks
Jonathan
too.
Brooks. Yeah, so that's what he was the option there.
You know
He's a
what sucked
very
when I
raw
first turned the tape on, it was the
potential,
Alabama tape.
and that's not a good game for him. I
So
didn't think Alabama.
yeah, he fumbled and he
Yep.
made up for it. He had a really good catch in that game. But
Yeah, he
I really
did.
do think that he might I don't know, do something in I don't know what kind of system. Maybe a Doug Henderson type system.
Yeah. So my number 4 is Theo Johnson, the man with the perfect raw score. This man just I mean, I don't even know, like fast off the line, great blocker, good routes, yak, has soft hands, catches away from the body, high points the ball. He's everything you want. Like he's the perfect raw example of a tight end that you want. He is like everything. You're raw, you have every tool we need, and we can make you what we want you to be. I love Theo
Right.
Johnson. Theo
You know
Johnson,
what? Maybe Noah Hill Johnson.
what?
Just put it that. Allen is
Oh
so
yeah. Oh
bad.
God,
Every
Drew
time I
Aller is
just watch,
horrible.
like every time I'm watching the tape, I'm just like,
Yeah.
wow, another miss, another miss, another miss.
He was so bad. There's nothing
I'm
I can
just
say
like,
positive about him.
I'm just like, we're gonna have to watch this tape next year.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
you
so
know
who's your number?
Johnson, I can't argue it. Well, I'm gonna have okay. John Wilson is my number three.
You're making a guy who's not a tight end a tight end.
Yep.
Okay. I can't say anything. I mean, that's how you view him. You're
Because
right.
he
That's
is
your
a tight end.
prerogative.
I
He's
mean,
not a tight end. He's a wide receiver. He's only ever played
yeah,
wide
but
receiver.
he's not gonna play like in the NFL.
You don't know that, but he if that's what you want to rank him and where you want to put him, that's
I
fine. We
I
did
just
last
think
year with Peter
we
Skronsky.
did, and I do believe that he'll be more successful in the NFL at this position. I have a lot of things to Lamb too.
I have nothing. I didn't watch him because I didn't put him in a tight end spot. So you have to be the one who says shit about him.
I went outside. No, by the way, if you don't know who John Wilson is, I'm not talking to you, Wilson.
He's
But
Darnold
John
Parham in this
Wilson,
draft because he's 6'7".
6'7".
That's all it is. He's height. He's tall. That's all it is. Just
Oh
say
no
he's
no
tall.
no no no! He's intense. This is intense. He went. He learned from really good defenses. Penn State, FSU. Oh, no, sorry, not FSU. Um, Louisville, Louisville. Everyone picked
Okay.
Clemson. Everyone picked that I turned on. He's got a big play that happened from that. And some amazing catches too. Like he moves well for a big guy. I was shocked.
Yeah. So my number 3 is your number 4. I'm taking Jatavian Sanders. Uh, like you said, he's a good he had a bad game against Texas. He had the fumble. He struggles with
Alabama.
the pressure. He has a lot of he can, but he's a yacker. He gets if he's in the open field, he's going to get you yards.
Yeah, man.
Dallas Turner owned him throughout that game.
Yeah.
Um,
That
he
might have
seems to
been
get
his last just in that game alone.
stop cutting me off. Damn it.
No, it's going to bite
Uh,
on my end. That's why.
yeah, I lost track. Go ahead with your number 2.
But number two. Oh, hit
Yeah.
over.
Well, we both agree there. I love Cave Stover. I have Cade Stover.
What
I
think
think.
about him?
Hold on. I'm trying to get to his page. So honestly, I'm going to say this right now. There's going to be haters out there. I truly believe Cade Stover is the tight end 1 in this class. That is where I think
But
of Cade Stover.
I told you on that one. I told you on that
No,
two.
he's my number 2, but I truly
Okay,
believe I think he will be better because where he gets drafted, for his value, because of positional
for the
value,
value,
tight
yeah.
end positional value, he's going to be better and be worthy of the one over Brock Bowers. But Cave Stover, high points the ball, soft hands, great routes. He's a big downfield guy. He has a great release. He makes
Big
people
downfield.
miss. He's a good blocker. He can catch in traffic, which is big out of all these tight ends. He's one of the best pass catcher in traffic. He makes catches over to defenders, which is beautiful. He's a yak guy. He follows his blocks really well. He's like a running back when he gets the ball. He's patient and follows his blocks. He doesn't have an elite speed, but he's a tight end. So you really don't care about the elite speed. But
Right. He
I mean
reminds
he's
me of
I'm trying to
what was his
think.
name?
He could be Travis Kelce. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. He, I'm,
Okay. I mean, okay. I mean,
he,
I can see it.
I mean, that's where he is. I really think that's who he could be. I think that's how bullish I am. I really do think I really love Stover here.
Oh, I mean, I was thinking more like more Andrews type, but yeah,
Oh, you know what? That's actually a really good value too. I have no problem with that. Mark Andrews is a very good comp as well for him.
yeah,
Like
I've seen a lot more Andrews in this game, and
no,
he's
that's
been
actually I
playing.
like that a little bit more than Travis Kelsey.
I don't think he'll be a off the line type tight end. I think he'll be on the line, kind of just like what Andrews
Yeah,
is.
he could somewhat sometimes line up on the outside, but if he does, he's going to be more lined up off the tackles. He's never going to be, on the outside like some tight ends do. He'll be
Yeah.
like 2 yards off the tackle.
All right.
If he
So
did,
go ahead.
I, I think it's I was going to say I think we both know who's number one.
Yeah. Who? Oh, Bob Bowers, number one.
Yeah. Can I just say, we all know I hate tight ends. I don't hate tight ends. Everybody, my thing with tight ends is, and I say it every year, they're not a positional need. They're not they don't have the same value. Everybody moves running backs down because of the positional value of that position. When are we going to realize tight ends are the same as running backs? Stop drafting them. Like most of the time, they just don't pan out in the first round. If you want
I
one
just
in the
don't.
late,
I don't think he's worth. I don't think he's worth that first
the
round
hype.
pick. You know.
He's not. He's not this like I thought. Again, his 22 tape is better than 23. Obviously, he was coming off the injury, and he had an injury this year again. Concerns because he had an injury last year and he had an injury this year. He's always low body injuries. Ankles are always getting hurt. Concern. Um,
It's
I just
concerned.
don't like. I just like everybody was like gargling him to be this next thing. Like obviously, I'm an SEC fan and I'm a Tennessee fan, so I've seen him and I liked him. But the more I watched him, the more I less liked him. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, are we
I don't
overhyping
know.
him?
I don't know. I don't think that was overhyping him. By the way, I have a wrong microphone used this whole time. But anyways, um, yeah, I don't think we're overhyping him. You and I are not, but I think the rest of the draft world might be overhyping him.
I just like I don't see like honestly like with this draft class because this is a very good draft class. Let's be honest, this is a really good draft class. There is no reason in any world Brock Bowers should be a top 10 pick in this draft class.
Yeah. So you're saying I'm going to get there. You're saying are you going to take Brock Bowers over Joe Alt? Are you going to take
No,
Brock Bowers over Jared Rose?
I I haven't even got to defenders right now, but
I know. Just for an example, we didn't know. We
no,
haven't
yeah,
really
no,
watched. I haven't watched their tape, but we know them.
yeah, yeah. So, but you're right. My thing is right now, without even no defenders, are you taking him over Caleb Williams? Are you taking him over uh
No,
Jaden Daniels, Drake May?
no,
Okay, are you
no,
taking him over? Are you taking him over any of those three wide receivers that we love? Neighbors,
no,
Marvin
no,
Harrison Jr.
no,
and Roma Duze.
no.
Are you taking him over?
I would rather have Malik Neighbors, Noon Bay, Marvin Harrison, Harold Williams, Brent May,
Jaden
uh,
Daniels.
Ben Daniels. Yeah.
And it sounds like we're both not as high, but it sounds like JJ's going in the top five. JJ McCarthy. So if you're putting all the
So
quarterbacks in the,
that's me. I'm been fired.
I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing, but I'm just saying the quarterback positional
Did
need.
he?
Going
Did
back to the
Brandon
bit.
McCarthy? Sorry to cut you off. Did Brandon McCarthy do the combine? I didn't watch the combine.
I couldn't watch the combine. I'm 9 hours ahead of all y'all. So the combine's going on when I'm asleep and everything.
Did, did JJ do the combine?
JJ had a really good combine. He had, everybody want to
Okay,
talk
is
about
that
the
why everyone's following him?
yeah, and I
Okay.
apparently, he had the second strongest arm. Or like when it comes to like speed, he had the second fastest speed behind Joe Milton, which is impressive. He had really good deep throws. He had two bad throws, and everybody keeps putting him on replay. It's like, hey, look at all these bad throws JJ made. It was the same throw. They just keep thrown in at different angles and saying, look at all the bad throws. He made two off bad throws. So he had a
At the
better
combine?
combine than
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Well, like,
So
like I said, it's underwear. Yeah, I
yeah,
don't know what's got in that. It's the
yeah.
pace,
But that's what.
and
But
his
just
pace
again,
is inconsistent.
you're talking about four tight end, four. You're talking about four quarterbacks. You're talking about three wide receivers. You're talking. We didn't even talk about Uli something from Penn State tackle. You haven't talked about all these other like
No,
you're already
well,
at
next week
eight.
though.
You're talking about eight other players on offense alone that you would rather have over Brock Bowers, and we haven't even talked about defense.
Okay, I would take Brock Bowers over Jalen Hurts though.
I, I wouldn't. Positional value, positional need.
Yeah, I definitely have that need. I don't. I feel like it's a Zach Wilson again here. And Zach
You know
Wilson.
that's fine, but what if he's not Zach Wilson? What if he is a? What if he's a? God, what is who does he semi remind me of? What if he's a lesser good Russell Wilson when Russell Wilson was winning MVP, winning Super Bowls?
Then you really know that and who's sitting in the third.
Yeah, but people in that draft would have took Russell Wilson a lot sooner because of how good he was.
Right. I
I
don't
mean,
see it. I don't see it.
I'm not saying you do. I'm not. We both kind of agree on
And
taking
then
it. I'm just.
and then let it block Dallas and Travis Kelce.
I still would say Travis Kelsey was the third round pick, and that's
Yeah,
positional value.
exactly.
And I still would not take Travis Kelsey before the third round. I'm sorry.
I
I just
don't I
don't.
don't I, I don't I don't understand Riley has ended up. The only person that I really was ever accepted by was Kyle Pitts, and that's because he's just a freak.
And yet, look at him
And
not living up to his
and
potential.
and hold on, he did have the
No,
worst health ever
I
misusing him.
don't. Stop. Stop making excuses like
Arthur
him for
Smith
Justin Fields.
was terrible for
He's
him.
not living up to it. He doesn't score touchdowns. He doesn't get the separation that everybody thought he was. It's not the coach, it's his play. He's not living up to it. Yes, he's had a bad
We're
coach,
about to
but
find
he's
out.
also
We're about to find out.
well, yeah, we'll be interesting. But again, I rather take Theo Johnson. I rather take Kate Stover in the second round or third round, and think they're going to be just as good or better than Brock Bowers in the top
Yeah,
15.
I would rather take Brandon Wilson
Yeah,
over Brock
that's all
Bowers.
I'm saying.
That
And
early.
it's not that I don't think. And going back to everybody is going to hate me. It's not that I don't think Brock Bowers can't be great. It's all about positional value for me. I don't value the tight end to be a first round draft pick.
And Brandon Wilson will probably go in like the fifth round because of his size.
Johnny Wilson's probably going to go in like the sixth or seventh round.
I love the dude, but just because they're not going to figure out where to put him, that hurts him.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be interesting. Some team will see what you see probably and say, "Hey, I think he'll be a better tight end. Let's take him in the fifth, sixth, seventh round, and let's
Yep.
make him a project."
Yeah, I really do think that. And honestly, yeah, anyway. No, Brock Bowers, great talent, great talent. I'm not denying the talent, but the
No,
value,
I'm
like you
not
said, the
denying it. I just
value
don't
here.
think. I just don't see what everybody else is seeing. Tell me what game that you see that he's this otherworldly, that he's gonna become this. Like we always do this with tight ends, and yeah,
But
sometimes it takes him
but
a couple years
remember
to settle.
Kyle, remember Kyle Pitts at least had a couple games when it was like, oh wow. But like Brock
Well, Gronk
Bowers,
had him, but
what
Brock
had him,
Bowers
but
injuries hurt me.
the injuries,
Injuries really
man.
scare me with Brock Bowers because his ankles always get rolled up. He has weak ankles.
Yeah, that's worrisome. If the ankles, the feet, anytime you have a feet
Yeah,
injury, then
because
you,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Greg Olson. There's been a lot of guys who've been in the first round that have been successful, but the top 10 to top 15 guys, most times or not, don't live up to that potential. And there's guys all around them that have had way better careers. I just rather take the risk of finding the mid round guys. Look at the
Who
Packers,
made
Luke Musgraves,
Western?
and yeah, I'll take a second. I'll take the second, third, fourth tight end before I take that first got tight end in the first round.
Yeah, you just hope maybe that tight end that you have a first round grade on, like that no one takes him and falls to the second. And
Yeah,
then that
exactly. Or
way, and then he's got value then.
Yeah,
He, I
I'll
don't,
take
yeah,
a tight
in
end
my, yeah.
at 25 to 32. Hey, that tight end that was potentially this whole thing, and we do
That's
see
what
something.
I think his value is in that 25 to 32
Yes,
range.
that's where I
Not in
would
the
be like,
10,
okay,
the 1 to 15 range is too much for me.
it's too much. I agree. All right, we spewed about Brock Bowers. We spewed about the tight end longer than you thought. It was a
We
great
good,
week, a
we
great.
good, we good.
We had a great
I've
episode.
been
We
moving
will be
around.
next week. Will be offensive linemen. We'll be bringing you our tackles and our interior. We're going to
Yeah,
be
it's,
again, people. We will
tough
be
one.
putting the guards and centers together, so there'll be some guys left off because this is a
Yes,
very
yes.
good class.
Interior offensive linemen will be
Yeah.
guards and centers. Just like last year.
Yes. Yes. So if you don't like it, make your own.
Yeah, you
But
know what? Make your own podcast and do it yourself.
yes. But as always, thank you for listening to this week's episode of Mocking with You podcast. We can't wait to hear you from next week. Chris, you have a good one, sir.
Yeah. And have a blessed week, everybody.
Blessed week.
Thank you for listening to the Mocking You podcast. Yours truly, Lil B at Brunelli Sports and the Hater at Supercharged 33.